friends, and welcome in. It's the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures from right here in the Impact Power Sports studio. Impact Power Sports, fantastic business in Rockford, Michigan, where you can purchase a Yamaha golf cart or an e-bike, scooter, motorcycle, side-by-side, ATV, UTV, BTV, CTV, and a ZTV, the aforementioned or hard-to-find ZTVs. Anyway, they are awesome. They've got a full-service department for you to check out as well, and you can find them at impactpowersportsmi.com. Just one of the many, many businesses that help make this podcast possible. And I'm very, very appreciative of that. The other ones that make this podcast possible are you. Like, honestly, if you weren't here, I would be screwed. So I appreciate that very much. Let's see. Usual suspects are already checking in. Alan is here. Maureen. Black Belt Nick, who has, ladies and gentlemen, Black Belt Nick is on his way to being a lethal weapon in self-defense. Now, he is up for another black belt. Now, he already has one black belt. But as far as I understand, you can't get just one. You always want to get like more black belts. Now, you don't get like another belt, but what you get is, I guess they're called degrees of belts. So if someone says, "Hey man, I'm a black belt," and to me that just sounds awesome. But then they go, "Yeah, I'm a 56th degree black belt." And I'm like, you didn't need to tell me that. Black belt to me sounds intense, like Bruce Lee shit or whatever the fuck. Now his martial arts discipline is I know he's a kickboxer, and I think you can get like a black belt in kickboxing. He's going to have to correct me or give me more information on this. But all I know is that hand-to-hand combat or hand-to-foot or foot-to-foot, he is a black belt. Now, since there are so many degrees, I really don't believe that, like, if you are your first-degree black belt, some might suggest that if you just have that first degree, it's like all you know how to do is go like, hiya, and then you get the first degree black belt. But I don't believe that. I believe that there's some extensive training and testing that goes into even just that first degree. He says, our system is combination of styles, but heavy in kickboxing. Now, he already has multiple degrees. I wonder if in the martial arts world, if they size each other up, like if they have a convention, like the kickboxing convention at the local convention hall. People, kickboxers from all around the globe show up there. Hey, I'm Nick. How are you? Oh, I'm Paul. Hey, Paul. Paul's like, yeah, I'm a first-degree black belt. Does Nick go, shit? I don't believe that. I mean, martial arts, there's always a high degree of respect, and behavior is important in martial arts. Like, if you're like a martial arts wizard, really good, great, 30th degree black belt, but you're kind of like a cocky asshole, I think that goes against some of the behavior protocols and principles of the martial arts. Like, if you turn into like an asshole and you're a martial arts expert, I think they like strip you of your title and just beat you down like that scene. Get off the porch, Holmes, in the film Colors. I've referenced that before. Nick says, I would not. I would congratulate him on his achievements. That's exactly right. I fully expected that. I mean, I knew the answer to that question. Nick adds to that, if we do not represent the school and belt properly, we can be stripped of ranking. Okay. You know, I fully expected to hear that. I wonder if there are any particular schools where they like encourage dickheadery. Like earn your black belt and be an asshole at the same time. I wonder if that even exists anywhere in all of the martial arts. Now, I know there's a number of different martial arts. I wonder if, like, they're all unique and difficult in their own respect, and one is no more difficult or less difficult than the other, you know? Like, if you do, say, I don't even know. I know that there's karate, depending on how you say it. And I don't even think that what Nick does has a fancy name like that. I think it's just called, hey, I'm a kickboxer. Is there a fancy name for what you do? I'm going somewhere with this because he's up for yet another degree black belt. And they have like a black belt, like, how would I describe it? Where you actually are tested by the guy who's the bigwig at black belt school. And if you pass the test, then you go up a degree. You go from like 4 to 5 or whatever it may be. And I guess that it's a big deal, and it takes a little time. Like, you got to do certain things for a couple hours, and if you pass it, you get it, okay? It's like getting made in the mafia. Well, I was invited to witness this. Megan says, is this something we can watch? Maybe place bets. And, yeah, you can. So we could all gather on May 16th at 9 a.m. to see this. But you got to understand, it takes like a couple hours. And if you try to leave, they'll kill you. 10 a.m. I thought it was 9 a.m. I think you kind of fat-fingered that message. You just texted me yesterday, you dumb dick. Oh, no, you definitely wrote 10 a.m. I recommend getting there no later than 9:45. Okay, you're right. Now you're telling me 9:30. Got to get there at 9:30. All right. That might be a thing where we load up the fraud bus and then drive over there and, you know. And is it called a dojo? Doors open at 9:45. I guess get there by 9:30. Does the general public just show up, say, hey, what do you want to do? There's a bunch of fuckers getting their black belt degrees. Corner of Plainfield and Coit. This seems to me like this would be like a building that's like a former warehouse. And it's freezing inside of there. And you walk in, there's like a couple of broken down forklifts. Maybe some homeless dudes. And then there's like a mat on the ground. And you just throw each other around. Skip says they make moonshine there at night. All right, so that happens and I'm invited and we should pack the house and turn it into an absolute spectacle. Tofa says even the homeless dudes know karate. That's not true. So, you know what you got to be asked, I'm sure, and you probably get sick of it? With something like this, you might get people say, hey, why do you do this? Why? Everybody always wants to know why. And I think the answer should be, because go fuck yourself. That should be the answer to anybody who asks why. Why do you ask? Why? I used to get that from people when I would do triathlon. And there's, why? Why do you do that? Because I'm fucking better than you. That's why, asshole. And it's really great knowing that my discipline level is through the goddamn roof. And I can be extremely uncomfortable for hundreds of miles. No fucking problem. That's why you fuck. That's why I do that. Because it's good to know that you're a big fucking fat piece of shit and I'm better than you. That's all. That's it. That's the motivating factor. For me, at least. Because I'm a goddamn machine. That's why. Jesus. Nick says, yeah, and he actually answers it. I do it because it's made me a better person and father over the past 9 years. I love it. And I found, and I like sparring and getting hit. Yeah, it has a therapeutic effect to it. I know that that's true. Some of my best decisions have been made while doing endurance sports, like when I spit in that guy's car. Yeah. When I decided that I hated free beer, that decision was made when I was pedaling my bike back in the day. Why do people always have to know why? Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Tophus says we should bring signs in like they do in the WWE. No, I think you got to be quiet. And I think that if you even so much as breathe, that they're like, out, get out. Nick says, or shitting in the Mayan ruins. Look, when that happened, that was a digestive emergency, and I was not at the Mayan ruins. I was on a touristy island in the fucking Gulf of Mexico. Chris says, why? Because fuck you, that's why. Nick writes, thank you. I can't wait to share the experience. It'll be my last test for about 4 years. I guess that cheering is encouraged. Now it says no women, too. Are you saying that the martial arts of kickboxing, the kickboxing martial arts, hate women? Is that what's happening? Because you wrote no women, and then you wrote encourage cheering. I didn't realize that you were a misogynist. Oh, no, it says it was a typo error. He loves women. I was going to say, because if Feisty Marty found out that you said that, she would beat your ass. And I'd be there for it. Rebecca, why do I push myself to lift heavy weights? Because it makes me feel good, both physically and mentally. It's the same concept. It allows me to push myself to become a better version of myself. Well, yeah, and knowing that you can pull that off. Let's say you do a big deadlift or something like that. That's an accomplishment. And when you get shit done, it promotes mental health well-being. You feel good because you got something done. I mean, the past week and a half, I started swimming again, and I feel so much better. I'm like, oh, fucking hey, man, I swam. That's awesome. Why do you do that? Fuck off. You disgusting fuck. Anyway, Nick, thank you for inviting me. I can't wait to get there and cheer you on. You better not fuck it up. When you say you're tested, do you know what you're being tested on? Is it like boning up for like a big math test? Like you have various things that you have to accomplish and you know going in? Or do you guys just like beat the shit out of each other for 2 hours? Red Bull Brain Chris is here. He says, getting my fat ass to the gym this week. Damn it. Tophus says it helps regulate your mood and emotions too. Yeah, easy. You're so right, Rebecca says. I learned the hard way how much my body depended on physical exercise when all the gyms closed during COVID. My brain went to a dark place when I no longer had that outlet. You should have done like some burpees or engaged in like marathon sex sessions. Nick says yes and no. Teacher likes to surprise us, but there is a set layout. Tophus is here. He says, I just started working out again last week. In just 1 week, I feel 100% better. No shit. That's incredible. That is great news. You know what's crazy, though, is it's so easy to fall off the wagon. All right. Thank you for inviting me, Nick. I've got 2 great moments of hijinks to share with you that have happened since last night. And let me start with the one that happened last night. I walk to the scorer's table for the basketball game. I've just gotten into the arena. I'm taking off my coat. I hear a conversation behind me. There's 6 dudes sitting at a table. It's like it's better than a courtside seat. You're just behind the scorer's table. You're at a table. Wait service brings you drinks, brings you food, all sorts of fun amenities, and you can watch the game while you're at a table. It's almost like being at a sports bar watching a live basketball game. By the way, if you ever want tickets for that type of experience, reach out to me and I'll point you in the right direction. These 6 rich bastards are behind me. And I hear one of them say, yes. And I guess there's an introduction going on. And I hear one of the guys introduce somebody, and I hear a name. And I go, that's a famous name. I know who that is. And I hear it. He goes, yeah, hey, so-and-so, this is Greg Steffen. I go, Greg Steffen? No shit. Oh, my God. A fucking legend. And I go, I better make sure it's Greg Steffen. So I look up Greg Steffen. You're like, who the fuck is Greg Steffen? Greg Steffen was the goalie on the Red Wings right at the tail end of the shittiest years of the Detroit Red Wings. Well, I would say prior to this year, those were the shittiest years of the Detroit Red Wings. But we're talking like just before Yzerman was drafted and for a period of time when he was just developing as a player. Greg Stephan was the goalie of the Red Wings. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I know Greg Stephan. He's sitting right behind me. And I'm like, no shit. And I look him up, and I look at the picture of Greg Stephan, and I turn around, and I look at the guy. I go, that is him. That's him. And so I go, well, I'm kind of like a star fucker. I go out of my way to try to say hi to famous people. And that's kind of like a flaw. People oftentimes think that I'm a douchebag because, well, a lot of people think I'm a douchebag in general. And I mean, in fact, that was never more evident when I was walking directly behind James Gandolfini at Madison Square Garden. This was the time when, I swear to God, this happened. In the nosebleed seats of Madison Square Garden, Bruce Springsteen's The Rising Tour, for some reason, it was like a who's who of the Sopranos and Donald Trump. Because in the nosebleed seats, it's myself and Jetman. And we're sitting there, and then he goes, that's Dominic Chianese. I go, no shit. He played Uncle Junior on The Sopranos. He goes, that is Vincent Pastore. And I think he's the one who played Big Pussy. And I go, oh my God, it is. And he goes, and look at, that is James Gandolfini. I go, it. And then also actor John Turturro was also there. And then lights go down. The show is starting. Up the steps. Security detail. Trump. Melania. In. Sit. I'm like, no shit. And at the end of the night, Trump wanted to leave. And he wanted to leave before the lights came up. So he looked. He raised his hand. Security gets up. Boom. They all walk out together. But I'm walking down the steps to leave our nosebleed section. And James Gandolfini is the man right in front of me. And I go, James Gandolfini. Because I'm a star fucker. James Gandolfini. What a douche. I hate that I do this. I want you to know that now that I'm not in that moment in time, I think I'm an asshole. This is horrible. And then I actually said, and I've talked about this before, shake my hand or I'm going to scream that you're here. I am not proud of this. He turned around with this look on his face. He turned around, he looked at me, and he puts his hand out. And I go, and I shake his hand. Oh, fuck. How bad is that? And then off he went. And I was so happy. I got my handshake. Fast forward last night, I go, I'm going to go say hi to Greg Stephan. I go walking up to him. I point at him. And he looks at me. And he's like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And I go, Greg Stephan. And he goes, yep. I go, oh, man, I loved you. And he looks at me like, what? And I go, Red Wings goalie, Greg Stephan. And he goes, fuck no. Fuck. And I go, oh, shit. So that feeling that you have right now when I just revealed that, imagine that times 8 million. I'm standing now in front of them. I walked up to the group, and they're all looking at me like, shut the fuck up. Alan says, why does this only happen to you? I don't know. I just don't know why I do this. There's a little bit of small talk after that, and then I walked away, and it was so bad. Chris in Buffalo says Larry Zane. That's reference to Curb Your Bum 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 Bum. Alan says, on the internet they usually have pictures of the people that you search. I looked, and I was looking at the picture of Greg Stephan, and I'm not kidding you. The guy kind of looked like him. He did. He absolutely did. I did it. I did what you said. And it was enough of a likeness just by chance. So that makes this not my fault, right? No. Because only a fucking idiot a star fucker like me would do that. Chris says, so we don't know who the mystery Greg Stephan is. Well, there was another guy there who was like the big talker of the bunch. He goes, no, he's a different rich guy. And I'm like, okay. And then that guy kind of bailed me out. And he goes, we have a mutual friend. And he said, Bill Simonson's a friend of mine. And so then we got to beating up on Bill, and that kind of like softened the blow of this, but the damage was done. Cole is here. He writes, a couple years ago at a Colorado college hockey game, I was sitting right next to Mike Vernon, former Detroit Red Wings Stanley Cup winning goalie. His kid was on the team. I didn't want to bother him, so I didn't even mention that I knew who he was. Nick says, does anything fucking happen at this basketball job? Has anything good ever happened to you because of that fucking basketball job? No, a lot good has happened. It's just awkward. I just do awkward shit. I cannot get out of my own way. I think generally we have a clear understanding. Thank you, Starman. I think we have a clear understanding that I'm just an idiot. I need to learn to take a deep breath and just not do those things. But that's not the only ridiculous thing that has happened to me since the basketball game, because this morning, this isn't that, it's difficult to even explain it because it's so bad. Like, if the two things that happened to me between that moment and what I'm about to tell you happened, I think I might actually take the moment with Greg Stephan. Because it's so ridiculously absurd to shit your pants. And I did that this morning. I shit my goddamn pants. And it was a moment where I was just getting the day started, and I was like, I was concentrating on the gamble, and I was like, either this is a stuck fart or it's, oh no, it wasn't even close to a fart. It was the old colon fake out. Let's convince Eric it's a fart. There was no fart whatsoever. It was entirely devoid of fart. You can't even say I was gambling on a fart because there was no fart. So I fucking got the hell out of here. And it's always a bummer for Pooh Bear because, like, she's getting ready. She's curling her hair. I have now finished the cleanup process, but I walk out wearing just a hoodie and nothing below my waist. That's a bad look. Completely nude from the bottom of the hoodie down. And you have to make that walk of shame to the underwear drawer and to start over after the cleanup has happened. And she just laughed. You know, that's pure love right there. Nick says nothing but hot lava. Worst feeling ever. Chris says more reason for a goddamn bidet. Yeah, I know. Nick says, quote, it's always a bummer for Pooh Bear. How often does this happen? Well, when it does happen and she happens to be in the room, then she's going to catch me walk. I mean, we've been married for decades. We've been together since 1989. So, you know, during that amount of time, there have been, in that 40-year window, nearly 40-year window, there's been several times you come walking out of the bathroom and she knows what's up. And, you shit your pants. Yes. Donut dances, maybe you and the NFK are related. No. Well, the difference is he'll just do it like he doesn't wear underwear. So he'll just do it in the pants, and he doesn't have the ability to stop it. Whereas I'm like, you know, you immediately stop the flow of the lava after there's been a little pulse of heat. He just doubles down and gets it all out. And then he just drops the pants and throws the pants and the shit in the wash. So you grab the pants and shit rolls out of them, falls through the fucking leg. That's happened. Yeah, I'm gonna put a pile of shit in the washer. That's a good idea. That's what Chris writes. NFK just sends it. Do you just wad up the soiled clothes and throw them in the hamper? No. You fucking caveman. You gotta rinse the clothing or throw it away. Nick says it's always a bummer, referring to me. It's always a bummer when my wife is getting ready for work and I forcibly shit myself in her presence. Megan says no, he gives them to Gary. Oh, Gary. God. What number episode is that again? 980? All right, I just got a text from Pooh Bear. Better check this. She says, will you make sure my watch is on my charger on my nightstand? Okay, now that tells me she's worried. And I don't want Pooh Bear. She's afraid she lost it. So if I don't check right now, that's a problem. Gives me an opportunity to get more coffee and some sore throat lozenges because I was singing a Bob Seger song earlier today and my throat hurts. Stay put. right, I'm a little bit annoyed. I'm not going to lie. I just bought a new supply of these, and I don't know where the fuck they are. That is not great, because these things instantly put out the fire on my throat. So these are going to have to do. These are Altoids, and they're not the same. Instantly in a bad mood. Reasonably. As bad of a mood as I can get in. Rest in peace to a radio guy out of West Michigan who, unfortunately, I had to kick his ass years ago, and in a professional way. But he's beloved. I mean, I was just doing my job. But the legendary Reese Rickards has passed. From the show that was very, very popular in West Michigan called Neil and Reese. This is an article from when he was unceremoniously broomed by iHeart back in the day. And that's too bad, because when I came to Grand Rapids in 2004, and Reese is I believe the stepfather of Starman in the chat. He, in fact, passed this news on to me earlier today, and he kept it on the down low, and then he just announced in the chat it's okay to mention. So, and I had known for some time that Reese had been ill, but I was asked not to say anything. So people, when I moved to Grand Rapids in 04, in June of 04, let me give you an idea of how popular this guy's show was. And we showed up and we filled out a contract. And they said, all right, we've got some ratings bonuses for you if you achieve certain levels of audience. If you finish in 4th place in Grand Rapids, you get X amount of dollars. 3rd place, you get even more. And if you get 2nd place, you get the most dollars. And then I said, oh, well, what about 1st place? And I, serious as a heart attack, Phil Catlett said, you will not get 1st place. And we said, why? And he said, because that's Neil and Reese on B93. And, well, lo and behold, the show caught fire a few years later, and we were number 1, unfortunately. And now I'm not saying that that's the reason why they got shit canned. I think why they got shit canned was radio. Because you can be a top 10 station, and that's still pretty good. Nick is here. Nick is an old radio dog himself. He's not old, though. He says, I'll never forget when I was a kid and Reese used to call into B93 to go live from his basement during severe weather. Everybody take cover! Well, he has passed. And it was all I can say is, well, you know what? I can't say anything. All I can say is that he has passed. Rest in peace to Neil. And when he was let go by iHeart nearly 10 years ago, he was 61. So I'm guessing he's about 71 right now, or was about 71 up until his passing. Rest in peace. That's way too young, honest to God. Nick says he was a great broadcaster. Sorry for your loss, Starman. By the way, Nick Bean here. This is the first time, as Starman writes, thanks for your kind words, Easy. Love you tons. Well, you know what's unfortunate is I never had a chance to meet that guy. But no doubt, quality individual. And, I mean, seriously, the show was a goddamn juggernaut. We just happened to get lucky with our brand of whatever the fuck we were doing. Who am I kidding? It was because of me. Nick is here, and the last time Nick was here in Houston, he conference called me up with Ellen Taylor, who was on the list and is no longer on the list. And I really don't think I should have apologized to her. Because, again, I didn't do anything. It's not my fault I have memory. Okay, if somebody does something mean to you, are we obligated by time to not still be mad about it? Like if Nick walks up to me and says, yeah, hey, your wife's a whore, and then 10 years passes, and I see Nick again, do I go, yeah, I know you said my wife's a whore, but hey, how you doing? No, you would never do that. Ellen said, oh, my God, it happened so long ago. What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, okay. It was 15 years ago, but still, it happened. Nick says she listened to the entire podcast and immediately started backpedaling. She's super thin and in shape now, so the name calling was forgiven. I think, LOL. Piano Finger Banger says, Easy is the king of stirring the pot and then going, what? What'd I do? Cole says, put her back on the list. Tophus says, I can hold a grudge. I love grudge holding. You keep somebody second guessing. They're like, what the fuck? Holy shit. Nick said that Ellen sent me something on Instagram. And I, for the life of me, can't find it, but that doesn't mean it's not there. Because I rarely utilize that platform. But no, I see messages from Terry DeBoer, Pooh Bear, Christian Blatt, Murder Lover Linda, Ben Glaze, but I do not see anything. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Oh, my God, just saw this. It's on the way. She said, looking forward to my expensive monthly gifts. All right, I'll play your silly game. And she sent me her address, which I will not share with you. That's what Nick writes. I think she sent her address because you said you'd send her gifts for calling her names. Let's see here. Just checking her out because Nick said she's super thin now. Well, look, let me tell you something right now. She's just a cutie. She's super cute. Even if she was fluffy, that doesn't mean that you're like a bow wow. I will say this. Definitely not fat and super cute. 100%. And, but it's not my fault it is still not my fault that she was so goddamn rude to me and hurt my feelings, frankly. You know, I sound like free beer. I was hurt. So, all right, let's do that. I am going to send her, this is what I'll do. I will send her a monthly gift, and then we will get the reaction to the gift. I will call her, and I will put her on this show. This is a reason to have her on this show. And, Nick, I want you to let her know. No, you don't have to, because she's on Messenger now. So I can do this myself. And I will call her monthly with a gift update. But this is very important that you do not let Pooh Bear know that I am buying monthly gifts for another woman. Yeah, we don't need to bring this up. So nobody reach out to Pooh Bear and tell her this, because she might not be happy with that, and I don't want to piss Pooh Bear off. Alan says she is still the bitch from Hot FM. Yeah, I can't go that far, because typically I keep my edge if I don't talk to the person. But now that I've spoken to her, and we have this dialogue going on, this flirty dialogue. Now, this is clearly the start of an affair, is what this is. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So, since I am now in an affair, I don't want you to tell Pooh Bear about this affair with my new girlfriend, Ellen. You keep that to yourself. Piano Finger Banger says your grudge holding would make even the most hardcore veteran hockey players proud. That's how I roll. Speaking of grudge holding, I am continuing my review of this week's Who Are These Free Beers? And I'm really, really peeling back the layers of the Hot Wings moment where he talks about this for school. We talked about this yesterday or last week, Ben Glaze and I, and Ben said, yeah, there was a horrible segment, but I had a hard time really drilling down on it. So I said, I remember listening to it too, and I remember it being so bad, and I remember where I was when I was listening to it. I was legit on my way to going to euthanize Benny, the one-eyed wonder dog. And that bit was so bad, and I was so desperately affected by how shitty it was that I couldn't wait to put Benny to sleep so that I could feel better about myself. Like, I rather would have been with watching my dog breathe his last breath than listening to that. And I was like, thank you, Benny, for this gift of your euthanasia, because this is so hilarious compared to what I was just exposing myself to. That I am, you gave us so much. And thank you for this fun-loving, happy-go-lucky moment of you dying to rescue me from the catastrophe, which was the segment about Hot Wings, helping his kids pick classes for high school. Well, anyway, Ben said, easy, I'm struggling. I know this is a shitty segment, but it's tough. So I have been listening to it, and I have really been able to drill down deep. And I have, it might be literally all of my clips for this week's Who Are These Free Beers on Thursday all of my clips may be only from that segment because there's a lot going on there. This was from a show where Free Beer was not there. We don't know where he was for this show, but who knows where he was. But he wasn't there, so the gang covered for him. And then Hot Wings start. The show starts. Hello, and my kid had to pick classes, so this is my story. And so bad. So I am going to really, really drill down with that. And Ben Glaze is excited about that, I know, and I know you're going to love it. That comes up Thursday on my Patreon. It's a good idea to sign up for free for 7 days at patreon.com/Eric Zane. I think right now I am in some type of Facebook timeout. And they didn't tell me about it. They didn't say, hey, you're in timeout. I just found this out. And Josh in Porculo says Free Beer was gone because his wife had surgery. Oh, my God. How do you know that? Did he talk about it? That's terrible. I wouldn't want anything bad to happen. Hopefully it was hopefully everything's okay. I mean, that would be weird. Josh says that he said it. Now, there are a couple other comments there that I don't even want to read those. If I read those comments that you all are making right now, that's a quick way for me to get some type of attacking cease and desist from some law firm. I have already gotten one. Alan's got some weird hashtag. What the hell's that all about? Anyway, I think because of I posted a AI video of Trump scoring a goal in the Olympics, and then he's beating up Canadian hockey players, and on it there was the song "Eye of the Tiger," and I think that got me like some type of Facebook trouble because I can't even post now. Very frustrating. I mean, I need that. I mean, not just because it's fun, but part of my business model is Facebook. I mean, I do a lot of things on Facebook that help make the world go round for your old pal EZ. Alan says the goons from segment 18 got you in a timeout. No, I haven't had any interactions with them for quite some time. And I kind of miss it. Let's see. Not to wreck a possible story for the day, but did you see the latest on the Guthrie case? I did. I'm about to talk about it. You're talking about Savannah. Megan says to David in Hudsonville, you and I are on the same page so often it's scary. Savannah is now expressing, and I don't know how. I mean, my God, what a goddamn nightmare. That mom is likely not alive. This is no doubt very sad, but I'm going to play it. It's Savannah talking on Instagram.
Hi there.
Oh.
I'm coming on to say it is day 20 since our mom
Hang on a second. I want to make sure it's not too loud for you. My apologies.
was taken in the dark of night from her bed. And every hour and minute and second and every long night has been agony since then of worrying about her and fearing for her and aching for her. And most of all, just missing her. Just missing her.
Oh, honey.
We know that millions of you have been praying. So many people have been praying of every faith and no faith at all, praying for her return. And we feel those prayers. Please keep praying without ceasing. We still believe. We still believe in a miracle. We still believe that she can come home. Hope against hope. As my sister says, we are blowing on the embers of hope. We also know that she may be lost. She may already be gone.
I'm going to jump in here. There is no way I could actually say this. If that were me, I would announce a shooting spree. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to go crazy. Run. I am so fucked up. Everybody hide. At the very least, in order to avoid this type of sorrow, I would intentionally fill my soul full of hate to avoid that. I'd be like, hey, for my remaining years, I hate everyone. And then I would just wait for somehow, some way, the world to reveal who did this to Mom. And then do everything within your power to eliminate that person. Megan says, I feel like maybe we should have offered the millions sooner. Look, I can't get in the way of when people decide to offer $1 million, because I guess eventually she's going to offer $1 million. I don't know if that's even going to happen. And by the way, that's the type of comment that I get a knock at the door, 3 a.m. Ooh, hey, that was a little rough on my end. Can you go ahead and delete all of your podcasts so that that's not there? What? No. Anyway.
She may have already gone home to the Lord that she loves.
Okay, so I don't know how long this is. I'm a little concerned that this is going to go on. And I don't have like a, you know, you sometimes have a progress bar on the clip.
And is dancing in heaven.
Right, no, I'm not doing this. I can't do it. God bless him. Megan says, okay, I might feel bad about that one. Lulz. As if someone's going to go, yeah, what are you doing? It's a little late, isn't it? Tophus is here. He wrote, who's going to tell her that there is no heaven? Look, I can't support that crack. Just because you heathen fucks don't believe that shit. God damn it. There has to be, okay? All right. So the U.S. women will not be attending the State of the Union address. They were respectful in answering Trump. Now, if you remember, Trump announced to the men's team, well, I got to invite the women or I'm going to get impeached. He seemed dickish to me when he said that. Now, the ladies have said, we cannot attend, Mr. President. We have to get back to playing hockey. We've got games coming up Thursday. Now, the men have games coming up Wednesday. And I don't know if the men are going to be there. We'll find out later tonight when Trump does the stupid speech. You remember the one where Trump gave the speech and then Nancy Pelosi fucking ripped the speech up and shit? Everybody was all dressed in white. Like that's going to do anything? Stevie says this is going to be such a shit show tonight. Yeah, I don't think that it could be worse than that. The only way it could be worse is if somebody threw a pressure cooker bomb. Well, anyway, I think that the men will be there. And if that's the case, like they have games on Wednesday. So the women, if they have games Thursday, how can the men be there but you cannot? Now, I will say this. The men flew back from Milan private. The women flew back commercial. That might have something to do with it. Now, you have to understand, in America, no one gives a shit about women's professional hockey. Well, in a lot of ways, no one really gives a shit about men if you think about it big picture. But it's still big enough that they're all millionaires. 20,000 people pack a stadium for 80 games a year. And there you go. Not a stadium, an arena. But, you know, I was doing some research about, first of all, it's you hear about that. The whole concept of the women have to fly commercial and they're in coach. And the men get private planes. That pisses people off. But I don't think you can be pissed off. You have to understand, hockey, men's hockey, has been around for more than 100 years. Women's professional hockey, this is year number 2 of women's professional hockey. If you were to go back to the beginning of men's professional hockey, nobody gave a shit about it then. So they're kind of starting out not that primitive because the game already exists. The league system has been in place. There are, I believe, 8 teams that are in women's professional hockey, places like New York, Seattle, Boston. There is not a team in Detroit. I wish there would be. I think that league should expand. They're getting like 8,000. They're getting about an average of 8,500 a game. All right? And I think that that's the type of sport that you could have in like Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids is home to these kind of like settings like that. You got like the minor league hockey, the minor league baseball, the minor league basketball with me making an ass of myself courtside. You've got the women's volleyball. And like I said, they've got about 8,500 fans a game. The biggest game they've had was 18,000 for one game. That's pretty good. And I also did some research about what the women make. Now, the season that they play is only about 30, 35 games regular season. Any guesses about pay? I don't want to wait around. I just want to tell you. As far as I know, according to what I learned in my research, each team has to have, I think, 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 players that make $80,000 for the season. But a good number of the players in women's professional hockey make $35,000 with an average per team, per player. Like, if you were to break it down, I think the average is like between $40,000 and $50,000 a year. So if you're a women's hockey player and you're one of those ones that makes $35,000, yeah, you're looking at about $1,100 a game. That just seems absurd to me. Because if you're averaging, because the average ticket price is about $45, if you're averaging that ticket price and you're averaging about $8,500 per game, league-wise, that means per game you're bringing in, I should say per year, $5,100,000 in ticket sales alone. So if you were to take, I don't know, it just seems like if you had $100,000 per average times 20 players, that's $2 million right there of your $5,100,000 flying out the door for salaries. That leaves you some wiggle room. You're not even taking into account the money you can make on advertising, sales advertising. You know, the dasher boards, shit like that. It seems like they could possibly offer a little bit more than that. Cole says, how does the PWHL compare to the WNBA player pay-wise? No idea. I think the WNBA, they play more games, but I could not tell you. I would absolutely go, because when you have leagues like that in towns like a Grand Rapids, Michigan, a lot of the times you're getting people to go not because they're super fans, but because of the experience and the fun that they can have. You make a ticket affordably priced and have affordable concessions, and they will come. Now, despite the not having affordable concessions at Van Andel, people still come for the Griffins games and the Rise games and the Gold games. And it's incredibly overpriced. But people still come. Nick says, I need to get to a Rise game. I love watching women's sports because they are so passionate about playing. I have never seen one of those. I hear they're great. I'm still trying to be the PA announcer. Then I can see all of them. After I interacted with the boss, Dan DeVos, at the basketball game the other night, I said, hey, I want to be the PA announcer. And his response of, which, by the way, yesterday, he was walking, the Osceola Magic were in town. That's his team, in addition to the Orlando Magic. So he always attends. And he's courtside watching the game with Mrs. DeVos, and he gets up to take a leak, and he's got a security team with him that walks with him because, you don't want a fucking Nancy Guthrie deal going down. And he's always had that. But anyway, he tapped me on the shoulder again. And I go, hey, boss, how are you? I shook his hand. I still have not gotten up the nerve to say, look, dude, I spent a lot of money on those fucking Amway tapes. And I ended up burning those when I lost my ass. Can you give me that money back? Did you know that, you know how a lot of people they want you to be an Amway distributor? Amway has to, according to the Federal Trade Commission ruling, has to announce, you know how on a pack of cigarettes you got a warning that says, hey, you're going to get cancer? there's like, if you buy the products, it says, I'm paraphrasing, but it says 60% of Amway distributors make $100 a year as being a distributor, and the rest don't make anything. Like, it actually says that on there. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you serious? Holy shit! How does that even? How do they stay fucking wealthy? Cole says the Professional Women's Hockey League tours. All the teams are coming to Denver for a weekend of games. I'll probably go to it. Oh, that would be fun. Denver's a great town. Come on. Bread Bull Brain Chris says, what about the double diamond distributors? Oh, God, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. Not enough time has passed from the last time I told my Amway story. It was a good one, though. Okay. My best friend in the whole wide world, I don't want to say who, but his kids used to go to this orthodontist, and a handful of years ago, a whistleblower knocked him out that he's into little girls and kiddie porn. And so now he's in big trouble, and he just got sentenced, this guy. Shannon Orthopedic, or Shannon Orthodontist, or Orthodontal. Why am I struggling so hard with that? He had pleaded guilty to sexually exploiting nearly 20 girls, some as young as 12. And he was sentenced Monday. And he got 6 decades in prison. Oh, shit. And a lot of this has to do with his behavior when he was out on bond. Also, when it first came to light that he was up to no good, he hired an independent IT specialist to go through his tech to say, hey, look, I got nothing. There is nothing here. So what he had done, though, was he deleted all trace of any nasty shit on his tech. And then to save himself, he said, look, I've got this verifiable proof that I have not done anything wrong. But the problem is he didn't do a very good job of cleaning out his tech. So the guy that he hired to check on his tech uncovered kiddie porno. And so it backfired badly. And then the guy he hired said, Jesus, fuck you. And he went to the authorities and said, hey, this guy's into kiddie porno. And they go, we know. And he goes, no, I mean, like, he hired me to prove that he wasn't into kiddie porno. But in fact, look at all this kiddie porno I found. And they're like, oh, Jesus Christ. You want to join the light side of the force? The good side? And he's like, yeah, sure. So they ended up fucking him up as a team, like the Wonder Twins. And that's the end of this guy. Megan fires off a crack. She says, hey, I'm sure he's sorry about it, so it's fine, right? Fuck you. I'm going to quit the show. Fuck you. Stevie says Bondi did not protect him like all the others. Look, I don't know about that. I don't know if anybody's protecting anyone. Shannon, this is so bad. This is awful. He abused at least 18 minors from ages 12 to 17. Now, it's not like he's just downloading nasty pictures. He's like dialoguing with these people and making, like paying them. He met most of his victims on Snapchat, where he later coerced them into sending nasty shit, photos and videos. In some cases, paying the teenagers for sexual images and videos. He paid one victim, a child in the foster care program, just under $2,000 for nearly 40 explicit videos. Oh, my God. The court showed that Shannon attempted to get the girls with whom he was messaging to recruit other teenagers to send him explicit content, writing to one victim, quote, also, if you have any friends that would like to make $ too, I will pay you $10 each if they work out. So he had like a Blockbuster rewards program. The attorney for Shannon, in a plea for leniency, said, look, Shannon has no prior criminal history. That's it. That's all they said. However, Shannon was out on bond for a separate charge relating to his possession of child sexually abusive material. In 2021, a therapist reported that a man, later identified as Shannon, was sexually exploiting a teenager. Police ended up tracing a Snapchat account that had contacted several teen girls on Snapchat. And then he was utilizing Cash App. There's all the investigative resources that the good guys have are fantastic. And it warms my heart to know that these animals who think they have anonymity with whatever it is that they utilize to do their evil deeds, it will catch up to you. And here's the part where it says he hired a private forensic investigator to search his phone in quote, in an attempt to prove that he did not possess any child porno, but the search of the phone revealed at least 16 child porno images of, I hate to say it, but it says it right there, several different age levels, preteens, teens, and infants. Okay. My God. So that means that for the next 60 years, and he's 43, so God knows how long that'll be that he actually has to serve. Even if it's 10 years that he has to serve. Within minutes after this all became known, the prisons are gearing up for you. The ones that you potentially could wind up at. They're all like, it's like a lottery. Like the NFL draft. Where is he going to go? What prison is going to draft Shannon the orthodontist? Thomas Shannon. And every minute of every day, the prison has a justice system. And you have to know full well that you are at the very, very bottom of the ladder and will never be anywhere but the bottom of the ladder. And the number of raw dicks that will be in your ass for the rest of your years. I mean, if that is not a reason to unalive yourself, I can't think of anything worse, frankly. Bread Bull Brain Chris says his quote after sentencing made me laugh. Megan says, I hope no one ever uses spit. Yeah, that's tough. If you don't use spit, yeah, that's painful. Not that I know. It just sounds painful. I don't have the quote. The prosecutor called Shannon a serial sexual predator and asked for the maximum sentence allowed under law, 2 terms of 30 years to be served consecutively. He will also be required to pay more than $20,000 in restitution to his victims and forfeit his motorboat to the state, which he agreed to as part of a plea agreement. God. What was the quote? I don't have that. What did he say? I may never leave prison alive, is what he said. Wow. No, there's no way. Well, you might, but my God. Red Bull Brain Chris says they wanted his boat. Well, any way you can get money. Can you imagine being a guy? You've made it 43 years, keeping this dirty little secret. Do you think he was from a younger age always attracted to this type of people, young people? Did it manifest later on in life? I can't imagine, again, throwing away your whole life, all that time building your family, your career, and now all you have to look forward to is the biggest of dicks for the rest of your days. God help you. You're not as big. You're not such a big fish that they won't put you in isolation. Not that that's a good thing. Oh, I would so off myself. I would say, yeah, you guys can screw me, but I'm going to be dead. My God. Do you think prison guards have a betting pool for which inmate gets to the pedo first, and can they sway the outcomes by delaying intervention? No. I believe that they're all on the up and up. They would never want any harm. Those are top-level people, the guards. I'm saying that because I know for a fact a guard pays attention to the shows. He's my neighbor. He lives down the street. Of course, he'd probably laugh at that. But my God. All right, before I continue any further, thank you to the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Buy now, refinance later with Mario. Get into your mortgage pre-approved today and start looking for your house. Then when the rates drop, I know I've been saying this for many months, then you can go ahead and refinance. Call Mario at 231-332-6505 or find Mario online. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. You can tell my throat is killing me. I've been eating these goddamn Altoids, and they're just not strong enough. If Altoids aren't strong enough, you know that these are strong. God, I love these things. They don't even taste good. They just work. Thanks to my friends over at Kuiper Tree Care. If you want to get rid of unwanted trees, if you want to have the stumps ground up, this is who you reach out to. They're online at Kuiper, KuiperTreeCare.com. Please mention me when you reach out to Kuiper and all of my sponsors. For Kuiper, you can call or text 616-828-8225. They'll also clean up any storm damage. They'll trim your trees if that's what you want. And they have tree risk assessment. Is my tree screwed up? Is this thing diseased? Yes, it is. No, it's not. They have 3 certified arborists that can work for you. My pal Frank Fuss just wrote a book on retirement. It's 150 pages, 33,500 words. The book is about financial security and retirement. Now, he's an insurance guy, but he's also an expert on making sure that you're letting your money do the right thing for you, because he's not the guy to get your money to work for you like a financial investor is, but he offers guidance to those people who then are ready to retire, and they've got this whatever money that they've saved up, how to make that last. He's the expert. And he's looking for people to be test readers on it. I already have Bread Bull Brain Chris as one. And who was the other one? Was it Tophus? Who wants to be a test reader of the book. What is in it for you? Absolutely nothing. But you read it, and then you provide feedback. He might, I don't know, maybe he'll throw in a gift card or something like that, or pictures of his flexed arm. If you want to be a test reader, and it was Tophus and Bread Bull Brain Chris, let me know either in the chat or send me an email, and I'll take care of the rest. Bread Bull Brain Chris says, I have to get in touch with Frank for insurance anyway. Excellent. Well, when you talk to him, do it then. And please say, by the way, I heard Easy talking about your book. As long as you let him know that you heard my words talking about him, that ensures that lummox will give me his money. All right. So do you remember the guy the other day, the Tourette's asshole, the Tourette's racist? What a moment in time. This is every bit as shocking as at the awards ceremony when Will Smith smacked Chris Rock. To have two black guys announcing an award, and Tourette's asshole shouts the N-word.
BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
Okay, so that one was bleep. The one I played yesterday was not. British white guy and Tourette's sufferer John Davidson. He says he is deeply mortified that he did that. Shouted the N-word. I guess my question is, if you are aware enough to be able to say, I am deeply mortified at what I did, I couldn't help it, I have Tourette's, and you're that aware, you're also aware that you shouldn't be in that surrounding anyway. You have a responsibility if you have easily one of the most fucked up diseases that has ever walked the face of the earth. Not that diseases walk the face of the earth, but you know what I'm talking about. If you have a disease that makes you walk up to black guys and shout the N-word, that is more deadly than cancer. That is more deadly than ALS and pancreatic cancer combined, in my opinion. I would rather have those diseases than Tourette's, where I'm shouting the N-word at black guys. Yeah, fuck this guy. The fact that he said, yeah, I'm going to the BAFTAs. Knowing full well you at some point in time could randomly shout out the N-word. You need to be always in preventative maintenance mode to make sure that you don't put yourself into an environment where shouting the N-word can turn into a reality in front of black guys on TV. And then the idea that the people who run the BAFTAs, they record this shit ahead of time, like a few hours before. They go, yeah, don't edit it. Don't know. This tells me that the people at the BAFTAs are like, well, this is fucking great. This is going to be the biggest. See, if someone said to me before, let's say this never happened, and Rando walks up to Eric and says, hey, what are the BAFTAs? What is BAFTA? I don't know. I've never heard of that. But I think it's British something award. I don't even know what it is. I just know it's British, and it's you get an award for doing fucking shit on TV or film. So the BAFTAs, in my opinion, they're like, oh, this is excellent. This N-word usage of Tourette's guys screaming the N-word at black guys is fantastic. I wouldn't even be surprised if they paid him to yell the N-word, knowing that he can say whatever the fuck he wants and everybody will give this asshole a pass. He probably doesn't even have Tourette's. Like if he's walking by if he takes his wife to the gynecologist, he's going to be yelling, "Hairy pussy," inside of the goddamn waiting room just for kicks. There is no Tourette's. I just have convinced everybody that I have it. And now I'm just making things awkward for people and recording it. Tourette's can fuck off. And this motherfucker, he calls himself a Tourette's activist. Let me just tell you this. If I ever encounter anybody that has Tourette's now because of this guy, I'm not going to give them 1 degree of wiggle room. If they say, "Hey, Eric Zane, it's nice to meet you." Yeah, hey, hey, I have Tourette's. Fuck you. I'm walking away. I don't want to be near you, you motherfucker. Everybody who has Tourette's can fuck off, in my opinion. All right? They are the worst people on the planet. And they sit there and they utilize these stupid tics to give them the opportunity to say crazy shit and make things awkward. That's all that this is. They have to be aware these people need to be in cages, chained to the floor in whatever institution. Do not let them out. Do not let them walk amongst black people. Fuck that. No. We need to take a hard and fast stance going forward against all people, all of them, who have Tourette's. There is no wiggle room whatsoever. Cole has a great take, and that's kind of what I was saying. This is what they were hoping for. It's why they invited him and also didn't edit it. 1,000,000%. Whoever produces the BAFTAs, they're a bunch of racist fucks. That's what this is. Bread Bull Brain Chris says, apparently less than 10% of people with Tourette's say or shout inappropriate things. Most present with noises or movements. That's bad enough. I went to high school with a kid. He's dead now. His name was Jim McGuire. And he had that, but he wouldn't express with words. But what he would do, 2 things. First of all, he'd go, and his head was constantly like moving forward like a chicken. And he'd do that. And then he'd blink hard. He was a hard blinker. And it was awful. And I remember I was pals with him back in the day. And you know what? It was me, McGuire, and Jeffrey DeChaussee, the guy I gave the kidney to. He knows what the fuck I'm talking about. What the fuck? So I started to hate him as soon as he started to fucking start clucking and shit. I was like, okay, this is bullshit. I'm out. And then he moved. You know what he did? He moved to Saudi Arabia. I am not kidding you. His dad got a gig as a contractor in Saudi Arabia in the 1980s. He fucking moves to Saudi Arabia. Comes back, and he's back in the high school. And then there was an incident where allegedly he had a good pal that went to the high school with us, and he broke into the kid's house and robbed it. And allegedly the story was because he was addicted to cocaine. This is all alleged. I don't want it to come back to bite me in the cock. Bread Bull Brain Chris says, holy shit, I went to school with a kid that did that exact same shit, and he would chirp really loud. Yeah, fuck that. No, get the fuck out. Go to your special school. Leave. No, you can't participate. Fucking weirdo. Alan says, did they throw him off a roof? No. Anyway, that bastard's dead. All right, I have no patience for this John Davidson. You know who's probably annoyed? If he's still alive? Is The guy, John Davidson, from That's Incredible. I don't know if he's still alive. Yeah, he's totally alive. He's 84. Some of you have no idea what that is. It was a show in the early 80s. And he is not related. It's not the same guy. The Tourette's asshole is also named John Davidson. Rebecca says, quick, someone get the Queen of the Forest on the podcast. Why? What did I do? What happened? What did I miss? David says that is an old reference. Yeah, you had John Davidson and Kathy Lee Crosby, Skip Stevenson, and what was the black guy's name? Byron. What the fuck? I guess it was just those three. Kathy Lee Crosby, John Davidson. It's a great reference, Eric, you fucking asshole. A show that premiered in March of 1980. You know what I'm thinking of? Real People. Is anybody old enough to remember the show Real People? That's going way back. That one featured, I said Skip Stevenson, that's wrong. John Barber, Sarah Purcell, Byron Allen, Skip Stevenson, Bill Raftery, Fred Willard. All right. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. As we wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, I'm going to be on Who Are These Broadcasters today. I think at about 1:30. I think we're starting early today. Let me double check that. Thank you to the world-famous Christian Blatt. You know, it's starting at 1. So in 1 hour, we are going to start Who Are These Broadcasters on the Who Are These Podcast YouTube channel. So go to Who Are These Podcasters and watch it live on YouTube at 1 p.m. Eastern. Thanks to Ryan and Aaron at Pinball Land for hosting us on Saturday to the Pinball Non-Orgy number 3, which featured numerous moments of us getting stood up by various audience members who made up lies as to why they couldn't be there. Rebecca had some dumb lie that she's sick. Sarah had a lie that she forgot. Ben Glaze gave me a lie that he forgot. All sorts of liars told me that they couldn't make it. Even Tyler, he showed up at Pinball Land again, and then I got there, and I said, how come you weren't? And he lied again. He is now Liler. We called him Shiler before. He is no longer Shiler. He is Liler because he's a liar. For the next pinball orgy, and then Megan, she said, I want to spend time with the family. Liar. The next pinball orgy, you either are there or you're not. But if you're there and you say you're going to be there and then you're not there, you are, in fact, a liar. And I have no room on the squad for the pinball orgy for liars. So there you go. If you want to go to Pinball Land, they're in Rockford, Michigan. What a fun place to go. $9 gets you an hour of unlimited play. I don't think there's anyone alive that can beat me in Rush Pinball. And that includes Rebecca and Jeremy Kay. These two think that they know how to play pinball because they lost all their fat from playing pinball. But I'm here to tell you, you have no shot. If you would quit lying to me and making sweet love to each other and come to the pinball orgy, I could show you how miserable you are at pinball. I am the best pinball player of anyone related to the Eric Zane Show podcast. And I will prove that to you losers the next time we have a pinball orgy. All right. And you can go to Pinball Land in Rockford and see for yourself the fun. Rebecca says, I could beat you. No, you can't. And nor can Jeremy. He's too busy looking at himself in the reflection in the glass and thinking how great he is because he lost 700 pounds. Your asshole of the day today. For this, yesterday it was all Tourette's patients. Today it's John Davidson, the Tourette's asshole. I'm still pissed off at that guy. What a fucking idiot. That is my time. Thank you for being here for part of it. Talk to you later on. The Eric Zane Show podcast is concluded. If I don't catch you on the Patreon, or you don't catch me on the Patreon, or we don't catch each other, or whatever the hell, catch me tomorrow right here live. Till then, have a good one, folks. Thank you.